Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we are about to take a boat. I'm not sure why the game sometimes is, the frame rate is good and other times it isn't. It was so good that other day, it didn't update or anything. It's just, I think it has to do with the way I maximize the window, because every time I launch this game, it's not maximized. It's like in a little window. It's not a little window. It's a full HD, like full screen window. But you can see the top of the window, and just the bottom of the screen is just out of shot, or not out of shot, out of the screen, and so I need to press Alt Enter, which is the shortcut for maximizing or restoring a window, at least in some environments, not everything though, but in video games it tends to be. And so I press Alt Enter, and the game becomes this. So I wondered if it has anything to do with that. I'm not sure.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I got shot. Even I can see that. I told you not to bring your trouble with you, policeman. We've got troubles of our own here. Though I suppose you took the worst of it. Turns out you were your own ill omen. The woman chuckles to herself. Well, I guess you were right. The men with guns were coming for me after all. She nods. I'm not sure those were the last of the men with guns either. There are always more coming for your kind, officer. Hiccup. My hiccup, not my character's. More hiccups, I'm sorry. Then we'll be ready for them, says our hand-eye coordination. My God, I'm so sorry about the hiccups. I didn't mean to. They usually, I can mute them. I don't know why these one, because I'm talking, they actually assailed me as I was talking. So that's why I wasn't incapable of stopping the hiccups. And that was because I drank before the stream. Or not the stream, before recording the episode. Now, we have to come here after they leave. I wonder if they have left. They have not left. Andre?
Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you.
Got shot in the hip is -1. I figured it is. Yeah. Let's see if I can do anything. I don't think so.
Yes, what is it?
Yeah. What a shame. I mean, maybe later. But we do have a quest that tells us to come back over here when they have left, to check up on her. Anodic music. I really have no idea what that might mean. It doesn't have nodes? I don't understand. Anyway, we're out of here, and we're back to where we just were. I should have saved. I'm not sure if I'm going the right direction. I think I am going the right direction. I should have saved here in the village. Can you run, please? You're not running. Run more. I know you got shot in the thigh, actually. It wasn't the hip. Although, part of the hip is the thigh as well, so I don't. Just keep running. Just get going. I think it's me, not the game. Hi.
Officer, what happened? You're wounded. Why are you wounded? You look terrible.
Oh, thank you. That's the usual, really. Some people hurt me.
Is this from the shooting in town? Weird gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
I also got shot in the chest. I'm gonna point to my chest.
That's nothing to brag about, officer.
It's not serious. He'll be okay.
You should see the other guys. They're all dead. Are they actually? No, I don't think they are.
So you're a killer. That's good, I guess. Better than being dead.
Well, I was a killer before this, long before this happened.
I've always taken you for one. That's for sure. Not a lot of RCM men who aren't killers.
I have a question for you.
Of course. Can I help you with something?
we need to get to that island. That won't be a problem. It's wind still, and the tar just dried. She points to her skiff next to the jetty. We got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead. 2 days of sunshine? I just got a bacterial infection. I'm sad to hear that. Take care of that with ether, will you? Don't get too many RCM men around here. Be sad to lose the first one. What's on that island? I saw some kind of ruins through the binoculars. Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war for the communards. An anti-aircraft gun, I think. Bombed to bits in the landing. I haven't been there myself. Always steer clear of it. Hasn't been there herself. Who has there? Who has then? Asks our rhetoric. That's a good question, actually. Who has been there, if not you? My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know. My mother told me. She looks around. The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them not to I tell them not to, but they bring back old bullet casings and such. Which kids? The twins. She points to the 2 kids playing on the concrete yard. God forbid they bring the girl along on the rickety barge. Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that be all right? Be my guest. She looks at the boys. They have a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do. Can we borrow your boat? If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull, I just got it nice and yellow, and no drinking on the boat. Her eyes narrow. And no joyriding either. I don't know what joyriding is. Is that a sexual thing? I think that's a sexual thing. Kim says, of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or 2. Official police business. Aye, she nods. What if I want to rock? Let's not say that. I'm gonna nod along attentively. The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you. They disappear? Shouldn't they appear as she smiles? That's very weird crow feet. I know what those are. Is there anything I should know? Oh, yeah. Is there anything I should know about getting there? Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater, but your boat is... cut your boat if you're not careful. Be sure to enter from the south side. Water's deep there. Aye, aye, Captain, says our interfacing. Well, thank you. We'll use your skiff to get there, then. She nods. Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? I just filled her up. But it's a small tank. Okay, be seeing you. Now let me have a chat with your kids. I guess I should have figured that she was talking about her kids specifically and not just anybody's kids. But I got the impression that these weren't... that these were really, really small children. Like in 6 years of age and not... They're really tiny, is what I'm saying. I don't think they would be capable of making rafts and whatnot. The scruffy-haired little boys kick a stone while the other watches him do it. Is this, is little Lily your sister? I'm gonna point to the house. Yes? Okay. Yes. Okay, kids, you've been to that island, right? On that island? The one who is busy kicking his stone points to the bay. Yes, that one. I need to know what's there. That's, nothing? The boy pauses to think with his finger in his mouth. It's just a sea fort and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great. And the other one butts in. We make a fire. We make a fire. His brother nods. Gather the sticks for the fire and bullets, or not real bullets, empty bullets. Bullet shells, says our logic. There are a lot of them left over from the war for this, but this could be important. What then? I'm not gonna try to correct them and just be like, oh, you mean shells. There are lights, says one of them. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out. Your nerve endings sting from the mention of a guy, says our reaction speed. They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off, says our rhetoric. You mentioned something about lights? One of them, it's hard to tell which one now, starts... Well, it's... Which one? What do you mean, which one? There's no which one? I don't... They all have the same name. I have no... What do you mean, which one? I have never been able to tell which one, because the game doesn't tell me. You could just say the one on the left and the one on the right, and that'd be simple. Unless they're just running around each other or something. I don't know. Did you mean there are electrical lights? He points to the street light. Yeah. The boy looks at his toes. Your father used to go to that island too, didn't he? Our father killed himself. Don't say that, he didn't. His brother punches him. The boy's eyes well up like he's about to start crying. Your father did not kill himself. I don't know. The boy who made the claim finds himself unsure of it. He looks around. The other watches him, brows knitted. It doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. Father isn't a fire guy. The two things are unconnected, says our logic. Your question didn't make sense. Sure. Someone lives on the island. No, the boy answers, shaking his head vehemently. His brother looks at him and then at you. Yes, he says. The lieutenant raises his eyebrows and whips out his notebook. Let's go with yes, says Kim. Why is he the fire guy? Because he asks to put the fire out, the other explains. Why does he ask to put the fire out? I don't know. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like people to be there. You shouldn't go. Yes, the other one adds laconically, standing with his hands glued to his side like a little tin soldier. Is there anything else you can tell me about this guy? Age? Does he live there? No, he doesn't live there, I don't think. Nah, he lives there, the other one nods. He's been there twice, 2 times. The first one pauses to think and then comes to some kind of conclusion. He doesn't live there. He isn't there. He isn't there sometimes. Anything else? What does this guy look like? I don't know, they say almost in unison. How come you don't know? We ran. He just yelled that we shouldn't be there. Is that all you know? Is there anything more you can tell me about the island? The boy says, rubbing his eyes. It's clear that he has no intention of finishing the sentence. Lights? Fire guy? The lieutenant looks at you. We should check up on that island. Yes, we should indeed. And we leveled up, which is great. And we have quests, which is also great. And hopefully we won't die, because that would be great as well. I don't know where the skiff is. I'm not even sure what a skiff is. Is that a skiff? This is a skiff. Right. Maybe it isn't. I don't know anything about boats. Let's go. A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now? Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Asks our savoir-faire. Remember what the netpicker said, it's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this. I mean, I have finished all the things I can do. Except for the body, which I don't know if Kim sent to the... I suspect Kim hasn't sent the body to the police department or whatever. I'm not gonna hold the boombox. Get in and ride to the island. Let's do it. Of course. Of course I'm taking that pose.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. And the trees are green and overhanging, feather light free and everlasting. And the trees are green and overhanging, feather light free and everlasting. Want to be free.
The boat comes to a slow stop. Kim turns the engine off, and then there's silence. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance. Let's go, he whispers. That was a pretty cool song. Very proggy. Very, well, actually, the only influence I can see is prog, but there's probably other things like psychedelic music or stuff, but I don't listen to psychedelic music. So I don't know if that is indeed the influences or what kind of genre that is. A makeshift bridge. The bombs were powerful enough to break the foundation. The rusted chain trails off into the ocean. The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast. I'm gonna point to it. This leads to the depot in the Land's End. The lieutenant looks at the mechanism overhead. Ah, yes, so it seems. What do you think it was used for? For bringing munitions to the island, maybe, and supplies. You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain. As a defensive measure, locking off the side of the bay. From whom? I'm gonna ask. From enemies. He looks up ahead. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. The sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe. I figured it would be. Everybody says it was. These tires are falling apart. They're at least 50 years old. There's some tires over there. But I can't go over there. We can zoom out, though. It's not that we see very far. I don't know that, yeah, this is not the place. That is the place up there. Attention! Inflammable. Ooh. There's a thing in here. Did you see it? There it is. There's a lingering trace of mazout in the air. I don't know what mazout is. Some fuel has leaked out of the barrel. Black viscous. Oh. That might be what that is then. Although viscous fuel... Really? Are you sure that's not oil? The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Faraway birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea. What does that flutter? The flock of quails depart. No, wait. Yeah, the flock of quails departs. Now more than 100 meters away, 102, 105. Underneath the flutter, though. On the islet, there's almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds. Bulrushes swaying in the waterline, long dried leaves chafing against each other. Kim. Yes? Momentarily, the sounds are swept away. Pain shoots up your right foot and into your groin. Ow. It's pretty silent on this island. It is. Is that why you were stopping? No, I have to listen to one more thing. Ahead. A low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, though its ancient slits and through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating, hollow, the big building. And to the east, the faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand. The low tide filtered through its grains, a bird tending to its feathers. To the west, the silent hiss, sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree. And beyond that, all further north, air flows out a pillbox window. There's very little there. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless. Below the silence, a jitter, a sound impatient to happen, but not yet in this world. You hear some kind of limb fidget, producing an imperceptible tick. No, it's just your imagination, says our logic. You can't hear such things. Open your eyes, stop listening. I can hear such things. It's my inland empire. Shut up. I know this stuff. This barrel says ICM. You see a star with little specks in it. ICM? This feels familiar somehow. Can I ask myself? I can't. Kim, what is the ICM? Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communards' army. The Black and White Army of the Revolution. It sounds an awful lot like RCM. Yeah, it sounds like RCM, Revachol Citizens Militia. It does. Why? The RCM may descend from the ICM. May? It's impossible to say. He looks towards the darkened doors. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals. Nice political... Oh! Our rhetoric says, nice political thoughts rush through your new cortex, or neocortex. Our endurance fails, though, but it's a good thing, because our endurance is a Nazi. It's gonna be hard to say them. Carrying around all that weight on a busted crutch is making you pant. I don't have any crutch. So, what I'm hearing is we descend from the glorious revolutionary army. This is not really political, it's more partisan than anything. Although the political implications are there, it's partisan. Because there's a distinction there. You can be completely apolitical and still be partisan. Which is, well, it doesn't mean that you're apolitical, but in your self of selves, I suppose you're apolitical. You could be, but if you're partisan, you are always supporting a political entity, so you're only political as much as everything is political. But if we are not in that realm, if we're not saying that everything is political, because everything is, but if we're not saying that, then you can make the case for being apolitical while still being partisan, which can be confusing, but I think this is more partisan than anything else. And I say partisan here, the word itself, as far as I know, is used specifically in regards to political parties, and I think that's where it comes from, but I am using it in sort of like, they're not necessarily political parties, they're actual... they're parties in the sense of what the word means. They're groups of people, but they are not, what we think of when we think of political parties. They're actually different countries, or because or different regimes anyway. That's weird, actually. This sort of stuff happens throughout history. I'm not really sure what we're meant to read from this, to be honest. The options are very limited. But I'm not sure, because this sort of stuff, it's as Kim said, it's easy to get people behind you if you give them a little bit of a sense of continuity. But that doesn't, like, that would specifically mean that we're not, or the RCM is not descendant from the ICM, because you're just taking their name, which is something that happens in history. But also there's also things that do descend from other things and maybe keep their names as well. I'm just gonna catch my breath. Like, it's pretty obvious. Like, I'm not a big fan of this sort of stuff, because the game doesn't. The game itself, it's not the setting, but the game itself doesn't build your understanding very well of what this revolution is. So it feels like it is it's just analogous to the Soviet Union, and which is a revolution, and in the after the revolution of 1917. Is it 1917 or 1911? Anyway, at the beginning of the 20th century, the Soviet Revolution, the White Revolution, I believe it was called, that brought the Khazars down and all that sort of stuff. I think. At any rate, specifically referring to the whole of the Soviet Union as revolutionary is correct, because but you need to take into consideration that it is there's an historical and a political and a sort of ideological reason why it's considered a revolutionary army, because objectively it isn't, right? The USSR didn't have any revolution, as far as I know anyway. Maybe I'm speaking here, but since it started, it didn't, like, things didn't change until eventually they did change at the end of the Cold War, basically, let's put it simply. Although they might have changed, there might have been some, like, minor revolutions, but when you say revolutionary army, you're specifically saying an army, or you are invoking an image of an army that is going to revolutionize something, and that's not the case here, as far as I can tell. I think it's just revolutionary because the Soviet Union was considered to be a revolution, and the reason why it was is because one of the excuses, if you want to put it like that, or explanations if you want to put it in another way, although it doesn't really matter one way or the other. So I'm just going to go with the excuses. One of the excuses that, for the incomplete implementation of a complete socialist state at the beginning of the USSR was precisely because it's a continuous revolution, and you can't do everything at the same time. I may be misspeaking here because I'm not 100% on the history there. But this is my understanding. So I think that's where it comes from. It's just sort of weird. So it's me specifically siding with the people that lived here before. I'm just going to catch my breath and not say anything. Let's see what Kim says. He bows to inspect the barrel. This is better preserved than the others. You can still read the sign. A white star as well. I'm pointing to the star on the label. No, he looks at it. An upside-down star. With its horns in the sky. The symbol of the commune. Are those specks stars too? No, that's the uninhabited archipelago. A DeLorean-era symbol of Insulinde, known as the face in the sea. It looks old. What is it still doing here? Oh, dang it, it's raining. They said it wasn't gonna be raining. After 44 years, that's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Jeffreiter. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel. Ellipses have 3 dots. And we don't have more time for this episode. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.